Hello. Now in this lesson I'd like to talk about some of the hang-ups that beginning students have when they first start learning chords. At this point we have learned some chords that use 2 fingers, some chords with 3 fingers, some chords with 4 fingers, and we talked about different ways to move between the chords, and I'd like to review that a little bit. One of the things that people have trouble with is that they'll start by putting their thumb too high and they'll move their wrist up this way. We want to have a slightly curved wrist and slightly curved fingers, and we want to be sure that with all of our chords we're straight up and down on the fingertips. Okay? The other thing that we'll have to think about is making sure that we're always as close to the fret this way as possible. So for example, if we're playing an E minor chord, and let's get really close on this might work, but this is even better. So we want to be as close to the fret as possible, but not on top of it. So keep that in mind as you're going through these chords. One of the difficulties that people will have is that, especially when they're playing, let's say, a C major chord, they'll have this finger here and this finger here, and they can't really reach that finger over far enough. You see that? So sometimes we may want to place this finger first to get it exactly where we want it, right up next to that fret, and then sort of stretch the hand this way and place the middle finger and place the index finger in order to maintain the position that we want. The other thing that we'll find is that when we're playing these 4-finger chords, some of the time people don't press hard enough with the pinky. So if we don't press hard enough, then we get those buzzing sounds. There are basically 3 different reasons that you may have a buzzing sound. Number 1, not enough pressure. Number 2, not close enough to the fret. So if we're, let's say, here, we might get that sound instead of the clear sound from being right next to the fret. The other thing is that on certain chords, like an C major or an A minor, we might have a string that bumps into a finger, or a finger that bumps into a string, I should say. So let's say that we're playing a C major, and we go like this, and we get one of those sounds. What's happening there is that my middle finger is lightly touching the 3rd string. So the back side of my middle finger is ever so lightly touching the string beneath it, and in order to make sure that we don't have that sound, we'll get up a little bit this way, and now it rings clearly and we have the sound that we intend. So again, make sure that you're really straight up and down on the fingertips and that you're not touching any other string other than the one that you're pressing. And that'll make all of your chords that much clearer. So as we go through these chords, I'm going to play them badly at first and then play them with a clear sound, and notice how little difference there is between my hand positions. So this is the first chord. Notice that 2 of the strings didn't work. So now I'll move up just a little bit this way, and everything's fine. Same thing on the A minor. If we're too far down this way with our fingers, we'll get a sound like that. We want to be straight up and down. And notice the difference, just that little bit made a difference. And then on the C major, it's more difficult to get in the right position. And so we may have to lift the other fingers and then place them and make sure that we don't bump into the other strings, and now I'll get the good position. So again, notice how subtle that is. Alright? So hopefully that'll help you as you're going through these chords trying to figure out why some of them are so difficult. Probably the most difficult one that we've done so far will be the D major. A lot of times I'll have a student just put the middle finger down first and really kind of lean over on the fingertip so they're almost getting on the nail with it. And then once that finger is where it needs to be, we'll have the ring finger and the index finger come into the picture, and then we'll strum and see how it works. The other part of this chord that makes it difficult is the fact that when you press harder with the middle finger, it has a tendency to pull the ring finger down this way. So try to make sure that when you do press with the middle finger that you don't move the ring finger when that happens. And if we want to see the difference between a bad D chord and a good one, it isn't very much. The bad one, the good one. Notice that I just came up a little bit this way, got a little bit past vertical, and it works out fine. Hope that helps you, and feel free to email me if you have any questions. Thanks.